Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of the SkyZone Let's Play. As you can tell here, I got mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms on cows is what it is. Um, I won't even go into what I did to get this to work. Well, actually, I kind of will. it, this was way harder than almost anything else that I've done on Minecraft, for that matter. Mainly because it was just tedious, and boring, and trying all kinds of different things. Let me go show you here real quick what I did. I had on here a whole bunch of mycelium. And I'm hanging on to a block just in case, but I for just could not get this to work. As much as I tried, it just they weren't spawning here. So I went to the Minecraft forums, threw up a thread trying to ask some folks about what to do, and then they suggested that I find a grass block, which, if you remember from our previous episode, we got some grass blocks here uh, from the jungle where the jungle tree was growing. Well, I lined up all the dirt and basically had the grass grow from over here in the jungle area. I went across all this, past our little temporary cobblestone generator, and brought it out here. In fact, I even brought it back up above. And then I went and brought it back down here. Lowered it back to the same elevation that we had going before, and then laid this out. And I have it in a long little skinny little thing because I just wanted to make sure that we'd get something to spawn. I'll even admit that I tried to cheat a little bit. Even the cheating didn't work, at least not the way I was thinking. I was trying other things just to make it so that they'd spawn a little more often. One cute thing I did is I turned the Mooshrooms into a hostile mob, or at least used the hostile mob spawning, and then killed them off and did some stuff to make it so it sort of worked and then sort of didn't. It will spawn. I'm just going to say at this point, good luck if you're trying this. I would recommend grass. I would recommend the 24 blocks away. Make sure it's very well lit. I actually have the torches on top of the jack-o'-lanterns for a special reason. I'll go into that in just a little bit. But you really have to work at it hard. They will spawn here on this, assuming that you're far enough away. I had to stand back, about like right here next to where I had the cobblestone generator, and go AFK for the longest time. And by longest time, I'm talking hours and hours and hours of just waiting. It's stupid. I don't know if you're watching this video. I may, if I get some positive feedback, I may end up taking this taking the Mooshroom as a hostile mob and working that in officially into the SkyZone mod. I'd like to figure out how to make that optional, because they kind of spawn a little too quickly at that point. Literally, it just starts filling everything up. Now I don't know. It's just it's screwed over. But anyways, today what we're going to be working on is our uh, ocelots. In fact, one thing that was frustrating is I got like about 3 or 4 ocelots to spawn, and before I got anything like a mooshroom. Uh, oh, now there's our pickaxe. What I've done here with these torches, I was just doing this as prep work while I was waiting for the mushrooms to grow. Underneath here, I have. I figured that was going to happen. I have a little chamber here that I'm going to turn into our little pond. So we need to go through and I'm going to show you here in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and clean out the rest of this dirt, go make another pickaxe, and I'll be right back. As you can see here, this is our jungle area. By the way, please respond if you think I should get some more jungle saplings. What I'm thinking of doing, because this is an issue for anybody using this mod, or this map, depending on how you want to describe it, I am thinking about putting a treasure chest right next to the jungle tree, probably on an additional piece of dirt. Be nice to have a couple more pieces of dirt in the game, anyways. And then, have a chest there and have some saplings in it. So, anyways, that's the next thing we're going to do. I like to replace the torches with pumpkins so far as it makes it easier for passive animals to spawn. That way if they spawn, they land on top, they don't go falling into the holes and things like that. So we want to go ahead and put in the put in a spawning area here for the ocelots. We'll fiddle around with the shape that we need to put in. I just want to have a bunch of grass here. Hopefully we don't have a sheep spawn right away. I've seen that happen where sheep spawns in one block of grass and then the sheep eats it. Yeah, the grass block goes that way. Anyways, it's... Oops. I wanted to put a jack-o'-lantern there. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, let this do its thing. We do have some more dirt blocks, but I'll let that spread while we're doing this next part. I guess I can actually take this fence down. I put that up originally to keep the mushrooms in once they spawned, but then they didn't. Okay, what we need to do here is I want to lower this down one. So what I did earlier is I just took this using the water using a water ladder underneath the digging out a hole. I just went and dug down. Nothing different than what I've done in other videos. But basically went down, built a platform, and made this hollowed out area. Now what I'm doing at the moment here is I'm digging this out because we need to go get our water source, and we're gonna go fishing. Um, oh, I need to put those stairs up. Oh well. So that means we need to go get a bucket for our water, and we need to get a fishing pole. Now, one of the problems that we're facing right now, uh, we need 2 pieces of string, and there's our bucket, and we need a couple of sticks, 3 sticks to be exact. Okay, and if you haven't seen this done before, 3 sticks diagonally and then 2 strings down, that gives us a fishing rod. So that gives us our fishing rod. Oh, this string I got from killing a couple of spiders that just happened to be around when I was building the mob spawner. I intend to create a special mob spawner just for spiders. That may be the next episode. Very likely will be. But anyways, going over here to our island, we still have only 1 source block of water. And I'm using that in this cobblestone generator, but we got lots of cobblestone, so I'm not really worried about the cobblestone. You just got to be ginger around that lava. I don't want to fall in that. Lose the source block of water. But anyways, I did this earlier and found this works. Just to try this out, especially if you don't mind losing a little bit of cobblestone. Like I said, we got more cobblestone than we know what to do with. So we go and take out all the cobblestone blocks here. And while this is running water, this gives us a lake. In fact, we can even dive down underneath here, collect up all our cobblestone that we dropped off. Gotta be a little careful here, but it's not too bad, and we can hop out. So 1 source block gives us a lake, and if you do this right, you just the normal rules for fishing. This takes incredible patience, but maybe the pond isn't big enough. Oh, come on. I've seen it done before where you can have it in any kind of source block. Oh, there it is. There! We got us a fish. Now the reason why we need fish, I don't know if we need to put it in the source block or not. Anyways, the reason why we need the fish is that's what we use to feed the ocelots and get them tame. Without the fish, the ocelots they even despawn. That's probably one of the most frustrating parts about the ocelots, because I actually had, while I was sitting here waiting for the mushrooms to spawn, I had about 2 or 3 different ocelots spawn for me over on the other side, but I didn't have any fish. I wanted to save that for the video here, at least to show how to build this pond before I actually did build it. Okay, so now we got a bunch of fish. Um, and you don't need to cook them for the ocelots. It's actually a pretty decent food source. So, that's if you're wondering how to do this in the beginning, trying to get some initial food, uh, you know, that's an excellent way to get something when you're first starting out. Yeah, the grass has started to spread, but not in the wrong direction. Oh well. So as soon as we get us a cat, we can get our ocelots, and once we get some cats and get a breeding pair of the cats, then we will have every single one of the passive mobs that you can get in Minecraft at the moment. Um, and then we can rebuild our farms and get everything else going the way we want. Anyways, I wanted to show you our jungle trees, or at least the tree stumps in the cocoa bean farm. So one of the things to keep in mind with cocoa beans is that they need to grow on jungle tree trunks. Kind of one of the reasons why I'm thinking of cheating in some more cocoa bean pods. Keep in mind, one of the reasons why or cheating in some more jungle tree saplings. One of the reasons why I'm doing this playthrough of sorts is also to just make sure that everything in these challenges actually works. Anyways, these are fully mature cocoa bean pods, and each one produces 3 cocoa beans. Now, one thing don't forget, put a torch on top of these pillars if you do something like this. Earlier I had a skeleton spawn on top of these pillars of jungle tree logs, and that made kind of a mess. Anyways, as you can see, I got a full stack full of cocoa bean pods, and you just take the beans and you put them up on the side. That's how you build the farm. There are some fancier ways you can use to try to dump the cocoa beans with, doing some pistons and some stuff, and we'll get there. In the meantime, I'm gonna fully fill this up. I'm gonna put it all the way, and as you can tell, these actually do mature pretty quickly. So there's our basic cocoa bean farm. I want to get some more jungle trees and probably expand this out a little bit more. That gives us an additional food source to play with as well. So, we got steaks and pork chops and eggs and cocoa beans and some wheat. I got lots of melons. I've had to eat a lot of melons while waiting for the waiting for those dang mushrooms to spawn, but oh well. One other little project. Well, since we're here, since I'm talking about it, I said it was going to be the next episode. How about make it this one? I'm going to go ahead and show you how to build a spider spawner. We're back at the mob spawner, and what I'm doing here is I punched a hole in the wall, and I'm going to be building off in this general direction, away from our islands and past the mob spawner, and I'm going to go ahead and extend out. I'm guessing probably about 40 or 50 blocks away. The main purpose of doing this, again, is to kind of separate it out from the rest of the island. So this is going to be kind of our, our resource gathering area for that. That we get stuff from mobs. I actually intend to build around here kind of a squid conveyor belt area too. I'll show you that in a little while. But the design here, I experimented with this on a test world. I have not seen the design that I'm going to show off here today for Spider Spawner. I've seen variations of it. It's all based on the same basic principles as other spider spawners. This particular one happens to be a design that is waterless and pistonless, and fits with the minimal resources that we have right now. So at this point with Skyblock, we still can build a spider harvester collector. And I also want to be able to use it as a sort of experience point farm too. Because I also want to be able to get some of the spider eyes. Anyways, I'll be back as soon as I got some distance and a little platform built out that we can start working on the spawner. Okay, I got a little platform that I've built out here, extending off from our regular mob spawner. One of the things that we want to do here, I also took the liberty of making some cobblestone slabs. Now, if you remember, oh, not that one. If you remember looking at, or me mentioning some things about mob spawning, it turns out that mobs will not spawn on half slabs like this. So I'm going to make a little 3x3 area, and we're going to surround this on all sides, but in one little corner area. Actually, I think, where am I going to put this? So what I'm going to do from here, the neat thing about a spider is that a spider will not go through a normal doorway. At least the large spiders. Cave spiders are another story, but we're going to design this as a mob spawner that only works with the big spiders. And so we're going to, I'm just laying the foundation for this right now. Now I'm making this a 3x3 area. Because what the goal is here, and I've tested this out, they will do it. If you made this a 2x2 area, the spiders kind of get gummed up in the works. So we're making it 3x3 for the purpose of having a place for the spiders to fall down. So they'll go out into the middle or onto the side, and then they'll just drop down. Sure, they'll climb up the sides of the wall, but then they'll keep falling over and dropping down as other spiders start spawning and pushing them around. So this gives us a basic area where spiders are going to show up there on the bottom. And then this little side passage, I'm lining all this area here at the bottom with half slabs. So that we don't even need to have a fancy door to get in. And I'm going to make the entrance right over here near the beginning. So if we do this right, because this whole area here is going to be dark. So this is going to be kind of a mob spawner that works in the darkness. Let me see if that works. If I have that, yeah, we can slide in and out. And so that is... And I'm just going to do that for looks. It'll look like a big box, but oh well. I didn't need that. Anyways. So the point is, I'm going to come in here, and the light level is going to drop until we get down into here where it's going to be in total darkness. It's being lit up right now because it's still under construction. I'm going to... So the next thing that we have to do once we got this going... I need to go get some ladders. We'll do that in a bit. We want to spread out this basic mob spawner area. And this can be at any height. At the moment, I'm gonna go ahead and just expand out and use this roof area that we just built out for the for a little walkway. And I'm going to add to that. We're gonna push this out just a little bit more. This could, in theory, be... Oh, not that one. This can be any size. We're essentially doing just what we did over there with that mob spawner, but we're making this a little bit bigger, specifically for spiders. Anyways, I'm going to extend the floor out here and then put on some walls, and we're going to make it oh, how are we going to do this? So I'm going to do this all the way around. I'll be back as soon as I get that all built up. Okay, I went and finished filling this in and added some walls and even a roof to show you the next part. Whoops. Yeah, I got to be a little careful there. As you can tell, this is starting to get pretty dark in there. I'll show you the light levels. Which, we close that off too. We still need to work out a way to get up and down and be able to do maintenance on this. I have found anytime you're doing mob spawners like this, you always have some kind of crazy need to go back up and into it. I've lit up the roof here just temporarily. But I wanted to show you this next part that I'm going to be working on. And for this, you need to pull out some fences. Now, here's the rules on spiders as opposed to the other mobs is a spider needs 4 blocks to spawn in that is in darkness, and they need basically 1.5 blocks high. Now, I tried it earlier with half slabs like this, and in theory the half slab should work on the top half, but as a general practice, they don't seem to be doing the job for what we need to do. However, other blocks, for example, you can put in glass, or if you don't want to do glass, you can use what I'm using here, which is going to be fence posts. Fence posts are relatively cheap, other than the fact you just need to get lots of wood. So, the nasty thing about it, though, is once you put the fence posts in, you can't get underneath it. So it pretty much boxes you off. However, the main purpose of throwing these fence posts in, not only will the spiders spawn underneath, but this will keep all the other mobs, including Endermen, skeletons, creepers, zombies, all the other stuff. None of them will spawn in this area. So these fence posts here turn this into a spider-only spawning area. And since we're pulling the torches out, it's going to make it darker. And if you've noticed here too, I've put in a hole in the roof. The hole is basically a way you can, wash, rinse, repeat, as they put it, or as the container shampoo says. You just keep repeating the same pattern over and over again, going up if you want. I'm making this 4 wide. I was originally going to make it 3, but I decided to go make it 4 wide instead. As you can tell, it uses a lot of wood, a lot of fence posts there. So there you have it. This is the basic pattern, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to extend out here one little bit, and I'm going to build a little platform here for go get a couple of ladders, and we'll work our way up, and this way we have a place to work from to get access to the inside. And this is just our maintenance access hatch. And we'll do it very similar to how we're doing it with the other. For example, on our little mob spawner there, we have our little maintenance access way. And this gives us just a simple way to get up and down. Without having to go through the side like I am here, or build this big ramp or some other way. And I can knock some holes in for windows and things too, but that's the basic idea. And that way we can take this part out if we have to and close it up. So anyways, I'll be back for the closeout and try to get some more materials and things too. Okay, I'm going to show you how to close this off now. As you can see, I finished putting up some more fence posts. And now it's just a matter of kind of backfilling and cleaning things up. And just to point some things out, okay, at this point, that should be a totally dark room. I went and also filled in, just for demonstration purposes, I filled in that little hole because this would be the next level up. And otherwise, it pretty much is just a repeat of the layer right below it. In fact, unlike the other mob spawner, there's really no point to stepping back. You could do the same kind of thing, have monsters fall in through a trench here and have another spider spawning area and stuff, and that's up to you for how you want to do it. But the main gist is that we now have a dark room. And if we flip on our light level indicator, this where I'm standing right now is in total darkness. And that's the purpose of this walkway here, is to give you access to there. So you can draw your sword, start beating up spiders, and they can keep spawning and doing other kinds of things. Now, like with all spawning, you need to be some distance away for them to start spawning. You need to be about 24 blocks more or less. This is about 50. Now, sometimes they'll spawn, sometimes they won't. We'll just have to see if they will in this case. Just to be ready, I want to pull up a sword. Ideally, we should have some armor, but we should be pretty safe. Oh, there, yep. I don't know if you can hear. Okay. Okay, we're safe behind this wall. We just got to stay out of striking distance of that spider. But actually, it's not too bad. And there's another spider up there too. So, wander around and around, and this is working. There you hear another spider he just dropped. And that gives us some more string. So this is a basic spider spawner. If you extend the levels up, you could obviously get more spiders spawning more frequently. But there's so you got more of the same, more ways to kill, more ways to access it. You may want to play with it a little bit, but that's your basic mob design or spider spawner design. This is pistonless, this is waterless, and this only spawns spiders. And as you can tell, I got a piece of string and even a spider eye. Now you can add things to this, and I may eventually put some water in here and get all fancy with it. But there you have it. And I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. And wish me luck on getting some more ocelots. Honestly, I've had a lot better luck with all the other passive mobs. Those mushrooms were just incredible. So here we are. I guess this is a sunrise. So that's kind of pretty, looking over my island. All right. If you have suggestions for things you want to look at, the next thing that we're going to be doing in the next episode will be working on the village, um, and hopefully, and at that point we should have um, all of our passive mobs. I'm going to be doing off camera, doing the sit and wait for the ocelot, and as you can see, there's our little lake over there. The bottom of our lake. There's our ocelot spawning area. And anyways, if you have more questions, comments, please make them. Make sure if you haven't, subscribe and tell your friends and family to like this too. Anyways, until then, ciao.